CHILL space OUT and relax. That's what I have to say to all my Astros fans and analysts that watch this team every day like I do. Relax. I understand the Astros are back to 18-18 and they're back to 500 baseball, but that should have been the expectation for a lot of fans for about a month now. Well, at least that's what I've been preaching for the past month now. Now, no one could have guessed the slow starts for Bregman and Abreu. I didn't have that on my scorecard or my bingo card, neither did anybody else. But what you could have guessed is that this offense is stagnant, only scoring about 4.5 runs a game at max, without their two bats of Altuve and Michael Brantley. But then you toss in the fact that Chas McCormick went out for about 2 weeks with a back injury. What do you think is going to happen when you're missing a third of your lineup? No matter the team, no matter the franchise, you are going to have a hard time scoring runs when you're missing a third of your lineup. In fact, Dusty Baker said during the Atlanta Braves series that he just wanted this team to stay at or around 500 until he gets Altuve and Brantley and McCormick back. It's when Baker said that I knew I wasn't the only one on this island by myself. But there are a lot of positives to take away from the first 30 plus games of the season. The most significant ones to me will start out with the bullpen. The Astros bullpen got off to probably one of the worst starts I think I've seen them get off to in the past 10 years. It felt if at one point, if the bullpen came in after the 6th or the 7th, I didn't know how the game was going to end, contrary to the previous year where anytime the bullpen came in, I felt so confident. But over the past month, they've really proven and solidified themselves as one of the top units in the entire league. Then you jump over to the starting rotation, and man, has that unit been pummeled by injuries this year so far. You came into the season already missing one of your top arms in Lance McCullers Jr. And then Jose Urquidy in the month of May goes down with shoulder soreness. And then the next start, the very next day, Luis Garcia blows his elbow out. So now what happens is you have to bump Hunter Brown into the 3 spot in your rotation behind Framber Valdez and Christian Javier. Now you already know what you're getting out of Framber Valdez and Christian Javier. They've been so good this year so far. But Hunter Brown has absolutely proven that he could be a starter in this league. He's had a few rough outings, but he continues to learn something from every single outing he has. But then you go down to your minor league system, go grab a guy from AA in JP France and bring him up against the Seattle Mariners. And what does JP France do? Well, he gives you 5 innings of shutout baseball with 5 punch-outs. He gave you more than anything you could have expected from the young man. You thought at best he'd give you 5 innings of maybe 3 or 4 run baseball, but no, he goes out there and shuts down a potential playoff contender in the Seattle Mariners. And then finally, Brandon Bielak. Now, Brandon Bielak isn't a guy that's going to start every day for the Houston Astros team whenever the starters get back, because he's not an everyday starter. But he's gone out there and given you 2 really good starts so far this season. Not great, but really good, especially for a guy that in his career has gotten shelled a few times in some starts. Even being down to your 8th starter in a rotation, even missing over half of your starting rotation, this Astros rotation has still maintained a top 5 ERA amongst all teams in the majors. And finally, the starting lineup, the starting 9. The lineup has struggled. It's been up and it has been down this season so far. And like I said earlier in the video, I didn't expect Alex Bregman to struggle this much when it comes to just getting hits. And it's not even so much as the fact that he's not seeing the ball well, because he leads the team in walks. He still has elite level plate discipline. He's just getting unlucky with the way the ball is falling right into the defender's gloves. But also, I couldn't expect this kind of start from Jose Abreu, who seems to have just fallen off a cliff all of a sudden so far this season. Honestly, I do expect Abreu to make the necessary adjustments and get back to his former self, where he's been driving 100 plus RBIs a year and hit 300. Eventually, he's going to start hitting home runs, but it's just a waiting game for those 2 guys. Other than that, Kyle Tucker and Yordan Alvarez have been playing at MVP type levels. Jeremy Pena's returned to the streaky but really good hitter when he wants to be that we've known him to be. With all this said, the Astros could very well have over 22 wins so far this season, but they found ways, like many other teams in the league, to lose those games they should have won, and that happens. But here's the scary part for a lot of teams. With all the struggles from the lineup, with all the injuries to this team in this starting rotation, the Astros are still at 500 baseball. Even at the Astros' worst, they're still at or above 500 as a ball club. Now, what do you think is going to happen when Chas McCormick comes back into the lineup? When Michael Brantley and Jose Altuve get back into this lineup? What do you think is going to happen when Jose Abreu finally figures it out? And what do you think is going to happen when the balls finally start dropping Alex Bregman's way in the outfield? You combine that with the starting rotation that's already one of the best in the league, even with all the injuries. And you combine that with the top 5 bullpen in the league who hasn't even reached their peak form yet. Tell me how many games you think this team is actually going to win, and be honest. For me, 93-97. But ladies and gentlemen, I think this Astros team is about to take off. I think the explosion of wins is just about to be upon us and upon the league. And for a lot of teams, that's a scary thing. For me as an Astros fan, that is a wonderful thing. But ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Do you think that the Astros are about to explode with all these pieces coming back to the team on the roster? Let me know in the comment section down below. And really quickly, I just want to apologize for the lack of streams. My work schedule has conflicted with my streaming schedule, and the game start times have been really odd and random at times. But hopefully, I'll be able to get back to my normal streaming schedule after the Astros get back home here in a few days. But until then, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new, because I have plenty more beta content like this, and I'll see you all in the next one. Adios, mis amigos!